Hello, everybody.
I missed that. I missed that OBB. Huh? We missed like almost a week and a half.
We
Right?
had a week off, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a week off. Everyone was busy. But yeah, I missed that OBB.
We
So
miss having
it's good.
guests too. So we have
Yeah,
a
we had missed it.
set
Yeah,
of guests again for this
yeah.
episode.
And we actually have a returnee.
Yes.
We have a returnee this episode 117. Claro.
And the
What?
legend to accompany our returnee.
Yes, yes. Do you want to say what his legendary name?
Let's tease it a bit first. The
Okay, okay.
winner of the Golden Ball in the very first FIFA Futsal World Cup. MVP slash Golden Ball, right? Because it's
Wow.
synonymous. So, yan ang teaser natin ngayon before Claudio will spill
But
the
if
beans.
but if they read our caption, they would probably know who it is, right?
Yeah.
But okay, why don't we bring in our first guest? In He's the head of futsal development in the Philippine Football Federation. My former colleague, Kevin Goco. Who's gonna bring? Are you gonna bring him?
Yep, there you
Woo!
go.
What's up, guys?
Hi,
Hi,
Kev.
Claudia. Hi, Carol.
Kev's actually taking my spot. He's in my desk.
Yeah. So I'm hardly in the PFF, right? Because I'm mostly based in Iloilo. So it so happens that I'm seated here on the desk where Claudia used to sit in, right? The
So I
coincidence.
know that background right there. I know that
Yeah.
aircon.
Yeah, the
So,
aircon that drips, right?
That
So
aircon that drips. So there's always a
yeah.
tit, tit. Yeah.
Yeah.
welcome
If
back
you
to the
can hear it
show.
on the stage, there's like this dripping sound. That's the aircon.
I'll try
That's
to
right. So
to
welcome
tread
back, Coach
losing. Yeah.
Kev. Coach.
Thank
I
you.
mean, why do I keep calling you Coach?
Just call me Kevin. I don't
Yeah,
even
Kevin.
coach much anymore. So
Yeah.
So we had Kev way back when we first started. I think it was almost 2 years ago. I think you were one of
Almost,
our
almost.
first guests. No, so and we would like to introduce the second guest.
Hmm.
Claro, you want to do it?
Again, the winner in, or the winner of the MVP or Golden Ball in the very first FIFA Futsal World Cup, we got Coach Vic.
Coach Vic Hermans.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening.
Good evening,
Yes,
Coach.
Coach, how are
yes.
you?
Yeah, that was a long time ago that announced. That was in '89. And yes, futsal is changing between the last 30 years. But okay, that's why I'm also here. That we can change also together with everybody in this new upcoming events, etc. And bring our potential, what everybody say, also in the sub top from the Asia futsal world. Yes, that's the target, of course.
Wow, that's a huge goal, huge target for uh, Kevin and Coach Vic, no? For the two of you. But Coach Vic, let's start with you. We already had Kevin before in our show. But for those that are watching, Coach Vic, how did you get into football? Who inspired you to play?
Now, how you get in football? That was easy because all my 10 brothers were playing football,
Oh,
and my father was a very famous pro football player. Dus that is how you come in football. And also during that time, and when I mentioned now something, everybody here in the Philippines will say, "Oh, I didn't know that." But in that time, football was playing with five forwards. You had the
Oh,
five forwards. My father was left wing, and now we have only one or two, and everybody's afraid to go in forward. But that was the time that I grew up, and also football was changing. Like now, the last years is football, futsal, every sport is changing. Why it is so fast? The fitness is the most important thing on the moment. There's during the years, and also when I was in '89, futsal is changing. And how I came in futsal, that was easy. When I was a football player, on that time you play football and futsal together. Same what we
mhm.
do now still in the
Yeah,
Philippines. A lot of people here play futsal and football together. But on
right.
the end, it get their own way, their own direction. There's an in my case was on a Thursday evening on the Dutch television was a futsal program, indoor football program. There's all famous football players, all to England. And again, I played in that time against Nobby Stiles from England and Jimmy Greaves was in. I was very young. They were already older. Belgium has Germany came with Netza and Overaard. And we in Holland, I play with my team, but I was playing futsal and football together. That's why I also play in that game. And my heart on that time goes over and it goes completely to futsal. And I make the decision then later on, because on that time, look, when you be now a great football player, you sign a contract and you be a millionaire. And
Oh, wow.
also the not best players, they are millionaire. I'm laughing sometimes because I see some defenders, they make a lot of money, but it was in our time not possible. Even the best players got not so much money as now. This is what I did. I had my own shop, I had my own store, and I played together with that and the sport. And then my heart goes over to futsal, and then it's growing like that. And even when I was for FIFA football instructor, I went a lot of countries to do the offside trap from AC Milan or something like that. Even in '97, I made the decision again, stop with football coach. I was coach in Belgium on the highest division, but still my heart was in the futsal game. And
Okay.
also on that moment, I stopped as coach and I go totally only in the futsal. And that is what my passion was. And that's how I grew up every time. And from 1990 already, I'm a FIFA instructor. That means 30 years or more than 30 years. I'm instruct futsal over the whole world. And the last years, I'm here now. And I be honest, I hope that we can continue here and finish my career here with the last wish what I have, that the Philippines can move up and start playing with the other countries. That's my last task, I think. When I'm almost around 70 years old, you cannot go on your whole life, I know. And young people coming around me and in the back, that's a change. But in this time, what I say now is so much changing. How is football using futsal as a tool to develop the football players? Oh, there is so much to tell. I can make maybe 2 or 3 books about that. The rules from futsal going to football. Also, not the other way around, but this right. Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a full career
Wow.
for Coach Vic. Yeah.
Yes.
About you,
Yes.
Coach
Yes.
Vic, did your other, so you're 10 brothers. You had 10 brothers, is right?
Yes.
That's like a
Yes.
football team.
We play once a year for handicapped people in Holland that I can pay the buses to go to the training for them. And we did it once a year. And sometimes we invite a player from Ajax or a famous player from football, and they like it to play with us. Because my brother also, he play the highest division as goalkeeper. He play against Cruyff, etc. So it was easy for us to ask somebody, come to Maastricht, to my hometown. You stay in the hotel, you play with us one game in a full indoor hall, and they like it. And that's what we did. And yes, we can. The only what was not happy was my mother on Saturday when we play football, and it was raining and it was dirty, and she must wash all the clothes from all the 10. Yeah, that was the case. Yeah,
Were you in the eldest, or were you in the middle? Were you the
in the
youngest?
middle. I am in the middle. Yeah,
Ah.
behind I have 4 brothers more behind me and 2 sisters up, and I be laughing always when somebody say, "Do you have no sisters?" Yes, but they clean our stuff when we go out to the discotheque to dance or something. And we came home, we push everything out, and she clean. That was my sister.
Oh no!
Yeah, yeah.
And they didn't play. They didn't play football. So
No,
this is
no,
your
no,
first.
no, 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 no. They not play. No.
Wow.
Only
So it's
only the brothers, my father and the brothers they play, and yeah, okay. When we had magazines in the paper, in the newspaper, I have one on my computer for many years ago. My father in the middle and all the boys around. That was nice. That was nice. But okay, that is over that time.
yeah. It reminds me of like the Von Trapp family singers, rather than the Von Trapp in
Oh
Sound of
yeah.
Music.
Yeah.
It's Hermans and the football team. Kevin's like
Yes.
nodding. Kev, did you know
Approval.
about this?
Yes.
That
Yeah, you can make a musical on Vic's life, right?
Yeah.
Did you know about this when you were working with when you first met Coach Vic?
Well, eventually, right? Talk about personal lives, background, and where he came from. So I also had that reaction as well. It's like, wow, it's like 10 brothers. You guys can actually play as a solid team, no, for
Mm-hmm.
football. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's what they did. That's what they did.
yeah.
Wow. Did you play? You played professional? Did you, Coach?
I was a master again in Belgium as football player, yes. And again, what I said before, okay, you earn some money on that time, but you
Yeah.
work in daytime and play in the evening. That was my time. And yeah, you cannot look back, but the people now in sports, they don't know what facilities they have.
Mm.
How when we, yeah, this is unbelievable. You have for every player now, in every situation, you have a coach. And I say, well, sometimes to Coach Kevin, when I was coaching football, I did the goalkeepers, I did the fitness, I did everything. But later on, they brought a fitness coach now. They have a mental coach. When you
Yeah.
lose, you need a mental coach. Yeah, I'm laughing now with that, but okay. When I see yesterday Champions League and you see Ajax losing in Napoli, and you make three mistakes, yeah, do you need a mental coach or do you need a new player for that position? That's
Yeah.
uh, that's up for
Good.
me. Yeah,
That's
a mental coach cannot give the reaction to him when you have stress or something. I believe
yeah.
sometimes when you have stress and you talk to somebody, it makes you maybe calm. I don't know, but when you saw yesterday mistakes that you think, no, for that I don't need a mental coach. I need
Yeah.
a new player when you handle like that. But what I said for everything is now in the football. I make a presentation for the girls when I do the meeting this weekend, and when I show now the futsal team from Spain, I think for the ladies, they have already a staff on the bench from 10 people. I know
Mm.
them. They have already 10. In football, you have more. Holland goes now to Qatar to the World Championships. The staff complete is with 54 people. That's the staff. And then you have 24 players and you have a staff of 54 people. Why? Yeah, we need three people that must go scouting. We need this, three physiotherapists. We need this. Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. That is changed to completely.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, football and futsal is so fast, and that is a change in the years. That change in the years, even in basketball, and you see
Yeah.
where it's coming back. And we must grow with that. We must grow where you must look into other things, how it develop. And Coach Kevin and myself, we talked also when he asked me, Vic, do you need this? Do you need the analyst? Do you need that? Yes, on the end, you need everything. But when we start, we must be careful. First, let go on this weekend, make an evaluation and looking where we can go slowly, step by step, make everything better. That's
Mm.
what we want, of course.
That's right.
Uh,
That's
but
right, Coach.
okay.
It's good. And I like to ask, but before I give it to Claro, I was gonna call you Coach Claro. Before I give it to Claro, you kept mentioning your heart was in futsal. What was it in particular that got you really loving futsal?
Yeah. Now that I said it already to people here in the Philippines, to players. When I go to the team that I have this weekend, you see in that team also girls who play football and futsal together on this moment. But you must looking what is the best thing what you can do. Like myself, when I go back in football in my time, when you go to the goal or something, or they hit you, that was on that moment. Oh, when Hermans is too fast, we hit him two times, then he's out. Now it's not anymore so like that time. You have the VAR, you have all things what's good. But in my time, when I was on the pitch, no, the whole game somebody following you, he kick you where he wants. There's only one referee. There's no cameras. There's when they hit you in your face. That's it. And all these things together, and then you come in a clean sheet like futsal. That was so fast for me, and the technique, that was my technique, and the speed, that was for me the best. And that's why I make my decision, I go to there. And the same I see now some girls. I have some girls to this weekend in the group that play also for the national football team already in the squad, or maybe they're out for the last in the ASCAL or something like that. And the body from them is more in the futsal than in the football. And what I said also before, I think that Philippines can win much easier in futsal a medal than in football. That's my opinion. I am happy for the girls that go to New Zealand, of course. That's a big step. But when you don't follow up and you increase more and more, then you will. Then is this the top? No, you go on with these girls, and I want that on the end that we have a competition in the Philippines that it goes left for the football and right for the futsal. That they make their own decision. Because that needs that we need more competitions and we need a program that the girls can like on schools. And we have already some people around us. I don't say not some name, but we have already schools. They like to play more futsal than football. And this is where we're looking for. But the person or myself, I like more the futsal because it was my home. I feel it. I was only 3 months playing futsal in Holland. And then after 3 months, I was already the captain of the Dutch team indoor. And I was that for 15 years. It was more on my body. It belongs more to me.
Right.
And still, I go back now 40 years. When I play now football and I see now how it happens, this was also good for me now because they're protecting you more. But at my time, nobody protects you. When they hit you when you want, okay, that's over. And when you don't have a referee who didn't like you, okay, then better you can go out. Yeah,
Right.
that was my time. That was my time.
What a
Right.
time. What an
No
era.
blood, no foul, like Claro.
Every man for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, wow. So much experience that coach will be injecting in or has been injecting into futsal already here in the Philippines. But let's take it to Kevin. Maybe let's go outside going in. I know we have a series of friendlies coming up. Could you simply just educate us? And we have a lot of people who could possibly get into the sport from watching this.
Yeah, so we're organizing this weekend, October 15 and 16, as you can see on the flyer, a series of friendlies between the Philippines and Guam. And this is the first time, sorry, this is going to be held in Ninoy Aquino Stadium. This is the indoor gym or the basketball court, the basketball stadium next to Rizal Memorial, called the Coliseum. And this is the first time that, as I understand it, I didn't know until we actually put this together. This is the first time our country is hosting a futsal international. No, very first time, create men or women's that we're doing this because we've had national teams before, and when we had those national teams, it was usually just sending a team to go compete in a tournament abroad. No, so this is, I think, a historical milestone for the game of futsal here in the country. First, and this weekend the matches are basically free. Of course, it's not unlimited. So there is ticketing still. But we decided to offer it for free because it's like, when you're introducing a new product, there's a trial period, right? There's samplers out there. And many Filipinos don't really know the sport of futsal that much. So it's like we're inviting everyone, come to Ninoy Aquino, take a look, experience this game, and experience futsal for what it is. No, it's a complementary sport to football. I think calling it indoor football does the sport of futsal a lot of injustice, because I really see the game, although it's complementary, it's so different from football. No, the rules, the movement, the tactics. Coach Vic even talked about, there's a certain physique that gives you more of an advantage if you're a futsal player as compared to being in football, right? So, this we call this friendly. We didn't want to call it just a friendly, right? So, putting the marketing hat on, because we no longer have Claudia here in the PFF, so putting the marketing hat on, posing as an expert, which I'm not. We decided to call it the Pinay5 Futsal Face-off, so PFF in short, right? But the Pinay 5, and we call it the Pinay 5 because 5 players per side in futsal, and it also reads as Pinays. If you look at it, the 5 can be an S. And the Pinays is really the nickname that the players wanted for themselves. We asked them like, what do you want to call yourselves? They said, okay, football has the Filipinas. Kami, Pinay lang, Pinay. It's shorter, it's more abbreviated, and I think it ties in nicely because Filipinas is a longer word, 11
Mm-hmm.
aside. Pinay is shorter, and that came from the girls. It was no marketing gimmick from the PFF or anything like that. It came from them. So it's like, okay, that's cool. Let's use that. Let's name the team that. So hopefully it's a name that sticks. It was very organic. So we're calling it the Pinay5 Futsal Face-off because we're hoping that after this friendly, we continue to sustain it by hosting more friendlies during the international windows next year. So, yeah, invite everyone. I mean, if you can scan the QR code, you can reserve your tickets online, and you can get an actual email copy of your tickets sent to you, and then just show up on October 15 or 16. Kickoff is 4:30. So I advise everyone to come early because there are restrictions. You need to show your vaccination card. You need to have your mask. So there will be checkers, right? So we suggest that you show up early because it might rain on this weekend. So you don't want to be out there lining up in the rain.
Right.
So you want to go into the stadium early. So yeah, I invite all viewers out there and everyone to tune into this match. This is really us relaunching our national team futsal programs, right? We had a hiatus when I first came board in the PFF 2017. We had this practice previously of just sending futsal teams composed of football players. Let's gather some football players. Let's form a team. Let's send them abroad and then compete. And then the results were not good. So we really this is really, I guess, the next step of our focus on grassroots and youth development for the last few years. And we'll see how these girls do this weekend.
Great stuff. The name Pinay itself is nice because it's something you hear in the street and something you'd use. Yeah, in connection
Yeah, because
to
all these
everything
girls
that
are
he said. Yeah,
basically from the streets, Clara. I mean, we didn't take them off the streets, but they're
understood.
from.
Yeah,
A lot of girls are from Tuloy. Some are from UANP, Cainta, etc. So it's really local community clubs, that are supplying the girls to this team.
am I right? You have some football players from the national team. Did I hear that right from coach for the composition of this squad?
Yeah, so some of them are in the youth women, so they were capped to play for the youth women's side, right? So some of the players there are, and then but they're also committed to playing futsal as well. So many of these girls were scouted in a pilot league that ran for about I think like 2.5 or 3 months in UANP, and that's where we scouted, or that's where Vic scouted like many of the players for this.
Right. I think there's two futsal courts side by side in UANP. If I'm not
Yes.
If I'm not
There's good
mistaken.
ones, huh? They're
Yeah.
good ones too.
It's 2 basketball courts, but combined, it's one
That's
standard
the
size futsal.
that's the
Yeah,
standard sized futsal court.
yeah,
Great, great.
yeah.
Right. But with futsal now, you said you're relaunching the team. How did you, let's say, get the sport going in the pandemic? Because everyone struggled, like all industries struggled. So how did you, let's say, reignite the fire? You could say for futsal.
Well, I'll be honest, it's always been a struggle, especially on the pandemic. And it's still a struggle right now because our vision was really to have the best opportunity to scout all the players nationwide to be able to form this pool. But given the situation in the country, let's face it, there are still some areas and many provinces that still can organize competitions. There are still some member associations of the PFF who, let's face it, the pandemic affected them financially, that they still can't organize tournaments on their own. Let's say a futsal league like what we had here in Manila. Many FAs still can't do that because they're kind of cash strapped or restricted financially. I know that. So in a way that had to that played that affected how we were able to build this team. But what Coach Vic wanted is, let's start now. We have to start now, and then let's slowly build it up as things ease, because we're technically still in a pandemic. No,
That's true.
there's still restrictions out there. But as now's the right time to do it. We felt no, and
Yeah.
we'll just grow from here. So this is really a first step in a long journey for us. No, with the goal of being a top side in Asia for the women's. But this is really the first step.
Nowhere to go but up. Before we take it back to Claudia, what was the process for selecting players for the national team? I think you said that's the tournament. Is that where you got all your players?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yes. Yes, it is also that some girls they were not in the league, but I said to myself, when you have a league to select players, and on the end somebody come in who was not playing in the tournament, I think that's not fair to the other ones.
Mm,
We started many months ago with this, and we had presentations in PFF where we want to go, and one of the things was what Coach Kevin said touring the whole country. We went to Cebu, looking there. Can we do there? It was difficult for Cebu on this moment, but okay, we are going on. And on this moment also, there is a men's league playing on Saturday in UAMP in the same way as we do now the girls. Because the men's league is now playing. They play till last weekend of November, 12th November. And normally I take also pool from them and start in January when I come back again also with them for training sessions. This is what Coach Kev said. There's a long way to go, but when we wait still longer and longer, the gap will be bigger and bigger. Why? Everybody is playing. Last week we had the AFC Championship Futsal, the final tournaments. So everybody is already playing. Also our neighbors, they play. So we must not sit still. The only thing what we must looking is how we can get step by step the whole country involved. When I had the same in other countries, when I came to Philippines, we have Manila, and I hear everybody telling in the country when I go around the first time in 2019. It is always people from Manila, Metro Manila. Yes, but that is not that. For me, it's now clear why we have in the other parts of the country we have not the same facility as here. And I told also I like it to go with the play Philippine Guam. I want also to go to Cebu, or I want also to go play in Davao for promotion. But we have not an indoor hall there. Because that is the problem, and that's why we play now here. But I like is that we set up and we working on that next year, that we have tournaments in the whole country and bring the best teams to Manila, and then we make a new pool, and then you will see it is not only Metro Manila, it is whole Philippine who has a chance to come in the national team, and that's why what we're working on. And that's the best way. You have in every part of this country, you have talent football players. Only we must find them. And I hope with these games in the weekend that also some people are coming and they say, "Oh, I like to play futsal, or I go back to my neighborhood and I start with something." Yes, I'm willing to help them. That's no problem. How more competitions, how better for Philippines.
I agree. Completely agree.
If
Yeah.
I may add to that,
Right,
no.
Ken.
When we were selecting the team, there are a lot of players who wanted to try out, who weren't part of the league, and they were playing. Let's say I won't name names, no, but they were quite
Yeah.
accomplished players in the UAAP women's uh, league. Some of them were really good players in the sevens league. But Coach Vic was like, if they're not playing futsal, like why even look at them? No, really, you want to look at the players who are playing futsal. You want to look at the players at the league, because these are the players who are really committing to futsal. You know, there was one player who's really, really good, plays football. It's like, I want to play on this team. But then Coach Vic was like, okay, but where's her commitment, right, to the sport of futsal if she's football? So the long story short, we invited this person to try out or to show up to the practice, and this person didn't show up. No, so it just shows, right, on the commitment. No, like, where are you really? Are you committing football or futsal, right? So,
Right.
and yeah, I mean, you can scout the sevens league, but that's not futsal. That's football. No, even if it's small sided. So what is the lesson here? I keep on telling the FAs, if you want to have players who are part of the national team pool, the onus is on you guys to organize your proper competitions in your areas. No,
Yeah.
we can't have the one-day festivals, futsal festivals on a basketball court, because a basketball court is much smaller than a standard-sized futsal court. Standard size futsal court are two basketball courts put side by side to each other. And if you're playing futsal basketball court, it's also a totally different game because it's much smaller than a 40 by 20 meter dimension court. No, so that's basically it. So like when I talk to people, like, so I'm in Iloilo, right? So I told the people there, oh, this is what Coach Vic prefers when he scouts and selects players. So now they're like, okay, let's try to organize our own futsal league in Iloilo using the standard dimensions. So I was like, good. Let's go ahead and do that. No, and we'll try to help you guys as much as we can. No?
You guys kept saying scouting and all that, football into futsal. How do you make that shift of, like, if there's somebody that really, like that player that you said that wanted to play in the the national team, and then show up, but if you were to speak to them, what is that shift or that paradigm shift that could make them move really to futsal?
Coach Vic's best to answer that.
Yeah,
Okay, Coach Vic, yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Coach.
that's easy. I have an example now.
Okay.
I go every Tuesday. I go to Don Bosco to Alabang, and
Okay.
I train the little boys and I train the girls, and now I train also the men's under 23. Under 23 means they're younger, but they play in the competition under 23. Also, there are some players now. I saw them in the ASCAL football. I saw them, and now they're training 2 3 weeks with me. And some player already said, I like this more than football. I say nothing on the moment because I'm not here to take them from football away. No,
Right.
but what you said, Claudia, when they have the feeling and they like the game, that can be the part that they switch to the futsal. Yeah, I let them free to do that. When there is an opportunity for that boys to make money in football, I tell them always look where you can make your professional career. But on this moment, I don't think they can make it also in football. There's it is easy now for jump then. And then what I did, it was my passion. I like the game more. Futsal is more. I mean it honestly. Futsal is more attractive than a football, and it is very easy to say, but it is true. Also for a coach, when I was coaching football in the first league in Holland and Belgium, I stand on the sideline. On that moment, we had only 2 substitutes in my time. 2. Now we have already 5. And when you see some coaches on the line, they stand always like this. And I say always, it looks like if they're going to get an airplane inside. On the airport, you do like this. But you cannot do nothing. But when you be coaching futsal, when you make a goal, don't celebrate. But you must think again what happens next 10 seconds. You can change the whole team. You can play 3 different styles. You can defend. You can play with power play. As coach, that is so attractive to do that. And that is the passion. And that is what I said, what you're asking, how you can switch. No, let them play. I know for sure when the girls also in football, when they play futsal game with a nice crowd on the tribune, they like it more because it go faster. It's an interval game like basketball and that.
Yeah.
But okay, that's the and that's how I try always to say to the boys, look up to you. And Coach Kevin knows already when you have on schools and you play football, and on the end you make your way to go, or you go to basketball, to volleyball. But I know when they play futsal, for sure they like it, and every kid like it, and that's every week what I see in Toulouse. It's only one part. There's when Coach Kevin said in Iloilo we start with a full futsal competition, for sure it will grow over the whole world. This game is so fast and so growing. Just I think with this country, and nobody knows futsal. Yeah, then Yeah, sorry, but I forgot my telephone to drop, but I give it to my wife. Yeah, does that
Okay.
means they like it for sure.
Right.
Just let them play, and that's. But okay,
Let them play. And Kevin and I talk a lot about the futsal. We compare it to the 3x3 basketball, right?
yeah,
And it has that vibe, right? It's fast,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
physical,
yeah,
it's
Mhm.
shorter time, and
People are specializing too. And
special,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, people are actually
yeah,
specializing on
yeah,
3x3 basketball.
yeah. Yeah, but you see in volleyball how it ended from 6-6 with the Netch Beach volleyball 2-2, and
Yes,
that's
yes,
all. And that's our developing in football, small side games. What Coach Kevin said before, that is also it's the whole football in FIFA. The whole football structure is based on futsal. The small side games, 4-4, 3-3, 2-2, and then by 6-6 you can thinking on football. Then you go on, and that's huge development in football. Has all the programs what we need. And okay, here I know I spoke 3 years ago with some people from football, and I told them you need only a very good technical director and start with the program. For sure, over 5 years you have the best youth teams and the best team on the end. Okay, but you need people who believe and who invest in yourself. That's
yeah.
that's what you need. But in this sport, and I'm happy that I came in because Coach Kevin and Mr. Moran, they brought me in with the asking from, can we set up something? I came in because I saw that here is a lot of potential. And for me, it ends when the people around me say, no, we cannot go further. But when we go on like this, step by step, for sure, this will be a very famous game in the Philippines.
It has that vibe, like I said, the 3x3 where it's fast and it
Yeah,
appeals to the Filipinos.
yeah,
It
yeah.
appeals to the fast paced. It could be sometimes high scoring.
Yeah,
Is that
I
correct?
I show I show it quickly something what I said here. I have it next to me. I did it in the presentation for the girls. I show only to you,
Okay.
and then I explain what it is. You see this?
I see.
Yeah.
These are statistics from the last game Saturday against Makati. We play friendly futsal game against Makati. How many times you think we shot on goal? How many times you think? You think on football, when you have a football game and you have 8 till 10 times and you go in the box and the goalkeeper must save. We did here
I think I saw
79,
19.
79 times.
79.
79
Hmm.
shots on
Wow.
goal. Then you must think in Claudia and Carlo, when you have a television company who show only the highlights from the shots on goal from this, everybody is exciting. Everybody.
Yeah.
That is it is so it goes so fast, and normally 60 till 70 shots on goal in one game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is fast. I played
yeah,
futsal in Australia,
yeah. And
and boy, you get tired.
yeah, I was in 2000 in Australia for the national team to bring them. They go to Colombia in that time. No, no, not Colombia. Sorry. Huh? It was a country where they. Oh, I was there for the Australian team and coach from Holland, but they invite
Okay.
me 1 month to go to train them, and but I had the same in Thailand when I came in, and we were there, and the first game was only after 1 month. We had an international game, and that was exciting. There were already 7,000 people on the tribune. Wow! In Holland, we are amateur. The last game, 4 years later, with the support from Mr. Warawi, the president, and he gave me a lot of things, the tool to expose the game in Thailand. My last game against Australia was 14,000 people inside, was full. Outside, 4,000 people on big screens. Then we went to Uzbekistan for qualification for the World Championships. And the day after, the television company called me. There were 21 million people was watching that game
Wow.
in Uzbekistan from Thailand. And it's only while that's I'm thinking here also. Some television companies they must thinking this is a raw diamond where you can get money from that. Only you must expose in the beginning, and we must find the right people who believe. And then on the end you find a lot of advertising, everything. And we have a couple of countries that are doing this. And I hope in Philippines over 1 or 2 years, the same that we can reach the same targets as what we had before in other countries. And this is also one of the things, the time that you get to expose and to telling about this game in media. And when the media is interested and you have some, we have no analysts. My wife knows what I'm saying now. The football is so much in Holland. We have maybe 30 analysts from analyzing games on television. And before you had only two, but now every hour you see people on football on television. And the women's sports, and that's one we not forget. And our girls go also to New Zealand next year. The women's football and futsal will developing. And Coach Kev was in Zurich last time, and they told him already that we're starting with a futsal world championships for women over 2 years, Coach Kevin, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure if supposed to reveal this now, but they were
Yeah, but
saying, yeah, it's in the
yeah,
works that
yeah,
eventually there will be a futsal World Cup for women for
yeah.
futsal.
But we
Fantastic.
know, I know. Yeah,
So that's why
uh,
we want to prepare it. We want to prepare now.
The Philippines
yeah,
preparing you. Go, Coach Vic, of course, mentioned that he wants to be a top team in Asia, and normally top teams from each confederation normally qualify to a World Cup. So,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
lovely plans, lovely
yeah.
plans.
We
So
have.
that's why Claro, when people say, oh, there's no women's futsal in the Southeast Asian Games, it's like, okay, yeah, that's cool, but we'll still continue with this. This is, for me, this is still priority because we know where the game's going. In
Yes.
Yeah,
2025, 2026, you will see a FIFA Futsal World Cup for women. There will be
Oh,
one.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And
Unless
although,
there's some drastic change in mind at the top level in FIFA, that's going to happen.
And
right, yeah.
when you see now what Coach Kevin said, Southeast Asia in Cambodia next year, we have no futsal. I was there 4 years ago for FIFA to do the futsal course, and I was there. And then 4 years later, you sit here, and then we were talking 2 weeks ago for the Southeast Asian Games. I say, Kevin, there is no futsal. There's also that country. They're asking FIFA to come, but when they have the opportunity to put it in the Asia and the Southeast Asian Games, they don't do it. It's crazy. And next time it is in Thailand for sure, futsal will be in there. That's no problem.
Yeah.
And it's also strange. You give money for developing futsal. You send an instructor like me to Cambodia. Then you have the Southeast Asian Games 3 years later, and there is no futsal. And the whole Asia, you have Thailand, you have Japan, you have Iran. Go on every country. You have that.
Mhm.
It's crazy. But okay,
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not the chef for that, but I'm fighting for that sport,
That's right.
and
Yes.
that's. But okay, we will see. But
Yeah.
I know already a long time that we were saying FIFA put a lot of money in the women's football department, and one of the targets is also the futsal. I know, and okay, and that we come on the end like with the man, with the woman for futsal world championships. That's a real thing. That's coming for sure, and we must be
Yes.
ready to jump in. That's our target.
I
We're
think
excited for
people
that.
or like the viewers or people new to sports or not so familiar should know that it's not just the Sea Games, of course, where we
Yes,
have sporting tournaments. Just because it's not the Sea Games, it doesn't mean it's not a sport.
that's
Because
right.
let's say take futsal for example, they have other events, whether be it AFF with
Yeah,
AFC. So
yeah,
That's correct.
there's
yeah,
other ways,
yeah.
of course, where the
So
sport
sometimes,
gets to be played.
like Clara, we fall into this mentality that it's just all about what medal can I get in the
Mm,
Sea Games.
Yeah, the host country,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
or what
that's right.
or what's being played in the Asian Games or the Southeast Asian Games, and then that's the only sport that we're really gonna support and push, right? So futsal, it's inconsistent. Some Sea Games they have it, some they don't. When it's hosted in Thailand, definitely they will have it.
Yeah.
When it's hosted
Okay.
in Vietnam, definitely they would have it. But like for next year, Cambodia, they won't, right?
Yeah.
But for me, that shouldn't stop us because we see, as Coach Vic says, there's so much potential.
Hmm.
We're looking at when FIFA is gonna have this in the World Cup for women in the next 2 to 3 years, right? We wanna prepare the groundwork for that already, right? And as Coach Vic said, the potential's there. Futsal's a game for quick, fast people that are very agile. You looked at how his Thai teams play before, and that's the physique of a regular Filipino walking on the street.
Mm-hmm. They're
So
just our neighbors.
because
Yeah.
people say in football you don't need to be tall. Yes, that's true. You have your outliers like Messi, Maradona, and yes, etc. But you still need to be physical, especially now in the game of football, where the emphasis is on set pieces. You know, there is still an advantage for being big, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
In football, no, and we see that even
Yeah.
in our women's team. Our
Mhm.
women's team now, we're physically superior to the Southeast Asians.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Set
Southeast
Yeah.
Asian
pieces.
countries. Set
That's
Crazy.
true.
pieces, it's
Yeah.
game over. When Randall's there on a set piece, game over. When Haley Long's there, it's set because
Give up.
they're physically superior now to our Thai Vietnamese
Mhm.
competitors, right? So it doesn't surprise me, and with also a great coach and Alan Stajic and what they're doing there,
Right.
it's no brainer why the Philippine women is so successful, right, in football.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, to add to that before pass it back to you, Claudia. Like I remember with height, it was LA Galaxy in Philippines, and this guy just chased Chiefy Caligdong, and he was all the way back. And that's where I realized, wow, height
Is my
can make a difference, right? But of course, it's not everything, but it is a factor that helps. If you have it, why not, right, Claudia?
no, that's true. No, I'm pretty excited with all the plans
Yeah,
of Kevin and
yeah.
Coach Vic. And I like what Kevin said. We're not stopping. Whether there's gonna
Mhm.
be a tournament or not, we're not stopping. We're not
yeah, I bring
yeah.
this
We
up
gotta
because
keep
like
going.
the sporting leaders here say why this not even in the
Yes.
Sea Games, but why focus on the Sea Games, right?
Mhm.
I know they're because their KPI, their key performance indicator is the
Yes.
medal, right? Of course. So those are the only
True.
sports that they'll support, right? But that shouldn't stop us, and that's why I'm so thankful and so grateful that the Philippine Sports Commission, shout outs to Attorney Roy, and Chairman Ayala, they're really supporting us on this event.
That's
No,
beautiful.
so the venue, the surface, everything. They really supported these futsal friendlies that are happening on the 15th and 16th. Right? So
So that's
uh,
this weekend. No, that's this weekend,
yeah,
October. It starts at 4:30, right?
Mhm.
4:30. Yeah,
4:30.
yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. So we want to shout out to the PSC MVP Sports, Karamia.
Let's show the sponsors
Yeah.
again. Oh, we lost
No,
the
it's
slides.
we lost. No, but my last question for Coach Vic. It's amazing that you coached around the world. You develop futsal in different countries. Why the Philippines? I'm sure you've answered this before, but what
Mhm.
is it? What is that? What makes you look into the Philippines and say we're gonna be good?
Yeah.
Why the Philippines?
Yeah, but you said it well. You said well. You said one mention you were going around the world, and when you be older, you also looking in the mirror. What was in Iran when I was an Iran coach? How was the life in Iran? When I was in Thailand, how was it in Thailand? How was it in Indonesia? How was it in Malta? How was it in Holland? And when you look now on this moment, what happens in the world, in Europe is also it's almost very dangerous. What happens? Nobody knows what's going to happen with Russia and Ukraine. What happens in the country? Even here, we find out that everything is much more expensive than before. And there,
Yes.
I tell you honest, my kids on the other side, it's unbelievable what they pay and what has happened. And then you come closer to the question what you said. Then you get some offers and. You came here in an invitation by Coach Kevin and Mr. Moran asking after Esquala competition, what can we do? And somebody invite them, my name, also a friend of here, invite Kevin, you must call Mr. Hermans. And I was thinking in the beginning, okay. And I came here with my wife 3 weeks. Kevin make a program. I sleep not so much in that program. He did a full program for me, but I saw the whole country. Yeah, whole country. I Cebu, Davao. I saw Polarong. I saw everything. And after 3 weeks, okay, for me was already on that moment the number one. Okay, the sport is not on the level what I normally want and what I was used to be, but the people what I met. That was for me also a big question. On my age, you don't look anymore to other things. You want also to work and have people around you where you can trust and where you are. And what I said before, when I go around in 52 countries for FIFA already, and when you come in Saudi Arabia or in Kuwait or Jordan, or you come in Philippines where you hear the priest praying, or you go to Indonesia where you have 5 times the Muslim praying. That choices on the end was for me, okay, nothing is more important than that we have a very nice life with people around me who want to support futsal. That is also, don't let that go. I don't want that you're thinking I'm only here there. No, when I'm feeling that nobody support me anymore, why I should stay here? Then I go back to Holland or Spain, or I'm 70 years old. Why I do that? But on the moment I feel, number one was the people. Because when I came back 2-3 times, for me was number one. And together they also love futsal. These people was working with me now in this moment. They love also the futsal game, and they see also the potential what we have.
Right.
Now all these three together, and now this weekend evaluation. Then we make our targets where we must go. We are not stupid. We're looking also in the mirror. What's going wrong? What can we do better? And where we must put, next year put our pilots. And then slowly, step by step, I think we can reach a very nice level in this country. And that's why we came here. And also for my wife, it's very safe. We are not afraid here. That's something what is for us number one also.
Right. So when we reach the World Cup, we would like to say thank you to Kevin for always supporting Coach
Planting
Vic.
the seeds
Yeah,
and growing it.
Danny Moran, Sir Danny.
And I say always, also when I was football coach, I give an example. I was always early in my stadium. My lady who brought me the coffee is also very important. That means when you receive, don't forget
That's
who
right.
brought you there. And
That's right.
you are a team. And Mr. Moran is, of course, very important, but also the kid manager. Or we have one guy in our group like Dennis. I can trust him. He do everything and perfect. Now this all together, that's the best team, and that's where we must looking for. With this team, you can reach the top. And when there is something breaking, you must sometimes change some people. But okay, that's also important. This is not. Kevin has the good nose maybe to bring me here, and Mr. Moran, but also we have the good nose how we can bring now the players and the boys later into the top. But that's achievement what we have.
Can I add something?
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, I think I think we're very. I always say this all the time. I feel very fortunate that Vic wanted to work in the Philippines and wanted to help Philippine futsal. He said it in other shows and before that, he had job offers to coach World Cup sides, FIFA Futsal World Cup sides, because he's an elite coach. He's currently one of the panel of experts in FIFA for futsal development. So, we're just very fortunate that he wanted to be here because him being a coach of top sides, a sought after coach for top sides in other countries, he wanted to be in the Philippines where we're just trying to get things rolling, right?
Right.
And I just think we're just very fortunate. We're just very fortunate to have that. So for me personally, I really want to commit and see where we can go together, right, on this, and where we can bring futsal. It's not going to be easy. I know that. It's going to be very challenging, but I think when my life is over, hopefully somewhere down the line, it's like I had no regrets on trying to bring the sport that I love forward, and getting really one of the top experts in the game to really help us out on this, right? And so if anyone out there is viewing this, if you want to support futsal, just go to the games, experience it for yourself, and who knows, maybe you'll be a advocate or disciple of the game, very much the way I was. I grew up, and right, I said this, Claudia, in a previous show where I guessed it. I was all about football before.
Yeah.
And then when I got exposed to futsal, I was like, wow, as Vic said, this game is so much more exciting. And it's such a shame that the stars of futsal are not marketed the same way as football, but it has so much potential, and especially in the Philippines, there's so much. But I want to stop talking about potential and start trying to realize it, and it
Try and
starts.
do it. Yeah.
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 I think, like I said, I see futsal also rising as how the 3x3 is also rising at the same time. You know, eventually, I hope to see you guys. You see Coach Vic and Kevin and the futsal teams in the malls. In the in the big malls that they display
Playing in the middle,
display
yeah.
out. Just in the and you could see people watching from the top of the mall, just watching. That's how you get exposed. You got to
Yeah.
keep playing outside where people could see you.
Mm. I was this week. I was in the Etsa Road in SM. I was walking upstairs, and I come to the skating. And in Thailand, we play our league in the mall in Fashion Island. And I told Mr. Hansi already when we had a meeting together, this hall upstairs was ice skating. This was a perfect hall for futsal. And you bring the kids there, you can play, the parents, they go shopping. And now I saw four or five people were skating. And I'm thinking, okay, what can bring more money than this? But that's for me. The league in Thailand was in the beginning only in the malls and the
Yeah.
big malls. Now you are talking about what I saw in the mall by Hansi, the basketball, 3 against 3 on one downstairs by Paul by the coffee shop there. And I
Yes.
was looking, and I said, yes, this is true. I can bring and watch it in the mall. When you do that, you must bring young kids. When
Right.
adults they shoot the ball in the stores, that's not what we want. But for demo, and I did it also in Indonesia. I have it on my computer in Indonesia. We did it with the coach. We did some clinics in the mall with, and the parents, they love it.
That's
And
right.
okay, the only thing is, of course, for people like Miss Hansi, it must be coming back in the pocket, of course. And that's also true. That's also true.
Yeah.
You must be honest.
So more people watching the game, more people will be going to the malls, more people will be staying,
Yeah,
eating in the restaurants, buying stuff in the store. So
yeah,
it worked.
yeah,
It worked both ways, right? So,
yeah.
Claudio, you have anything?
No, I think just to add to all of that, and when you get into sports, that can get you away from bad influences in the streets or in bad company because learning sports, well, let's take futsal for example here, where you have someone to actually guide you and a coach, right?
Yeah. A top
Whatever,
one.
yeah, especially Coach Vic when you
Yeah.
zoom in on the national team. So it's also a good influence on the people. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially for the school that they go to, Tuloy, the Tuloy Foundation, all the way in
Yes.
Apapang. Both of you are really helping not just the sport, but I think a lot of lives, especially with the girls. No? That's such an honor. And like you said, Kev, a legacy that you want to leave behind, I guess, for the game of futsal.
Yeah, I think that's for me a personal motivation on why I love futsal so much is because I've seen its potential to engage communities at the most basic level, the most basic barangay level,
Yeah.
and in a sport that is close to a sport I really love, football.
Yeah.
But it can engage people and communities here so much more. This futsal game, and it can help change lives. I've seen that, and currently as we speak, I think it's changing lives of girls in Tuloy and boys in Tuloy, and we just hope that we can spread it across the country in that regard. So we're looking to develop the sport, but we're using the sport to also develop people. That's win-win.
That's right.
It answers the question, why are we doing this at the end of the day, right? That's more important for me
Yeah.
than winning a medal or qualifying for the World Cup. As great as an accomplishment that is, that's a super, super ambitious goal. And if you can achieve that, it's a great accomplishment. But if it impacts the lives of girls and people, that's for me the top.
That's true.
I think Claudia cut out. Yeah, but with with that, what you were saying, because you don't need the medal to show the stuff that you learned from sports. I see people going back to their sports and giving back, and there's no medal required to show your gratitude or to let the sport take you to places and become a better person. Whether you win a medal or you play at a high level, simply having fun already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you back, Claudia? I think Claudia's still out. But yeah, well, for me, of course, I think I'm good on my end. Is there anything you'd like to add to add to the upcoming friendlies that people are
Mm.
excited for?
No, I think Coach Kev has already on the people, and I asked it also when you want to be involved and to look how futsal really is going to play. Come this weekend to Rizal Memorial Stadium and look to the games, and for sure they love it. For sure, also the entertainment around when you sit on tribune, it's very close. It's like family, and okay, that's what I want to tell them. And when they want to help, I'm here. Maybe I go with Christmas back to Holland, and then January I come back. We make, or Coach Kevin, we can help everywhere. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Anything
Yeah,
you'd
am I
like to
back?
add,
Am I
Kevin?
back?
Yeah. Yeah, you're back. You're
Yeah, you're
good.
back,
Okay,
Claudia.
good. Internet in Bukidnon is weird. So but maybe you could come visit us here in Bukidnon, change lives with the game of futsal. That was gonna say earlier,
Ayun, covering Mindanao.
covering Mindanao. Right?
Yes. Great. Yeah.
So Kev, yeah, anything else that you want to add regarding the Saturday Sunday games?
Yeah, I've already said my piece, but
Uh-huh.
please join us in this journey, and support these girls, support these local communities, like where they're from, and try to experience a new sport. There, the show is being showed again, so you can still reserve your tickets, scan the QR code, and yeah, look forward to seeing you guys this weekend.
Yeah, we'll be. I will try to be there, but I'm flying back on Saturday, so hopefully I'll be able to uh, after my dog's birthday.
Grabe, ah.
Yeah, I'll sing
Yeah.
happy birthday to my coach. His name is Coach, and then I'll drive to Ninoy Aquino.
Ayun.
But again, thank you so much, Kev and Coach Vic. For
Thank you.
joining us in this session. Um, and to those that are watching, again, Ninoy Aquino Stadium, Pinay 5 Face-off with Guam. Right, it's the
October
first
15th,
international futsal
16th.
match, I believe. That's going to be held here in the Philippines. So
Yep.
it's not a friendly, but it's a match. There you go. So thank you so much, Coach Vic and Kevin,
Thank you.
for your time. It's been an hour, and
Thank you.
yeah, we hope to see you, and we'll keep praying and keep supporting futsal on our show. So if you have any news that you want us to share, we'll be able to share it on our feed. Yeah, right. So Kev, you're still in the office. It's nine
Yeah, I'm still
o'clock.
in the office. Still have to tie up some things for this weekend. Actually, the competitions are asking me already for the team list, the final team
Oops.
list.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
your roster.
Okay. Hi, Robin. Hi, hi, Ira. So again, thank
Yeah.
you, Coach Vic and Kev. Will be. You guys could go, and Clara and I will be
Yeah.
closing the show.
We'll just wrap up
Okay.
again. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
All
Thank
right.
you. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, Claudia. There you
You,
are.
you you cut me out.
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
We have the OG Golden Ball winner again of the FIFA Football
Yeah.
World Cup. I keep emphasizing that. Sakto Pinoy word talaga. No? That
Yeah.
like someone like Coach Vic. It's like those classes where you have a professor who's just so good and so passionate, and then your
Yes.
class isn't boring.
Yeah.
There, that's the experience that I had right now, listening to
Eh,
someone like Coach who is world, I know, who's been able to travel the world.
52 countries.
Yeah. And my
Right.
man, I'm like, wow, that passport's pretty full of stamps.
Probably like 10. 10 renews every year. But like you said, Claro, the way you say the traveled around the world, but he chose the Philippines. Yeah, it said for me, it's just shows his heart, and as well as Kev, he wants to leave a legacy for futsal, not not
Yeah.
not to win a medal. I like what he said. His goal is not really to win a medal; it's to really change lives and you know and develop the sport. And
Using
that goes this to show his love of the game.
using futsal to change lives, because like we were
Correct.
saying, just from simply playing or even being in a setup with a team,
Yes,
you already get your brothers or your sisters. These are people that will be close to you
that's
for,
right.
let's say, the rest of your life, and that's something that doesn't require a medal. Again, right? The medals
Yes,
is everything you see in the packaging, but there's already a lot that you unpack inside experiencing a sport. In what
that's
way
correct.
here? Futsal, as they explained, can appeal to Filipinos. It's a fast game, very entertaining.
That's right. Amazing, amazing. I played futsal before, and you should try it. It's really fast, and
Oh, I did. Yeah.
if the ball hits you
They,
in your face, it
they just made
hurts.
me the keeper since I'm a basketball player. Hand-eye
Oh,
coordination.
I
Oh,
know. So you're
diving in
fast.
the cement court. Yeah, that's something
Oh, that's
we're
so
not
bad. We
scared
don't
of.
want that.
I
All
did.
right. So this is episode 117, right? Before
Yes.
we do end this show, we would like to thank. No, we say we are part
Our
of the Globally Ballin
messages.
Network,
Yes.
and part of the Globally Ballin Network is our show, as well as an eternity of basketball hang time with Denise Inside, Mukbang with Jho Jho, and Next Man Up. Follow us on social media at WTHW Podcast. That's Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you want to listen to all our episodes, go to the YouTube channel of Globally Ballin and click on the bell button. And Next Man Up shows every Monday, I believe, Clara, is that correct? And yeah, it's with Diego, Dario, and Gelovito. And sometimes Sid Ventura shows himself. So yeah, Next Man Up. And an eternity of basketball with Carlos Titos, that's JPM, Noel Zarate, Charlie Cuna, and Sid Ventura. Their show is tomorrow with Daryl Keenan, not on Saturday. So check that out. And we would like to thank our sponsors: New Era, Georgie's Delight, Hindalavan Farms, Aquaflash, The Daily Ounce, Fuji Mama, Founders Donuts, Barrio Fiesta, The Mad Brownie, Chops to Go, Muffin Mafia, and Rad Chameleon, who did our shirts. There you go. So yeah, check them out. By the way, Founders Donuts have a new uh, donut flavors, so check that out also. And I think Clara and I will be getting a box soon.
Bad trip, palagi sila sold out. I'm like, I want to
Yeah,
get,
no
but it's always
worries.
sold out in the morning.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right. That's how good they are. So.
especially, I normally sleep through the morning, so I'm like, but okay lang.
But let me know,
I
and then
got my, we got my turn already with donuts, right?
we could
So
give I could give it a slight nudge, and
let's
we'll get our names out there.
let's share
And
the
yeah,
donut
that's right.
happiness with people out there. So okay
That's
lang.
right. That's right. And the Mad Brownie will be in a bazaar in Rockwell, October 22 and
Ayun,
23. So
sir,
yeah,
perfect for Christmas.
yes, actually, well,
Rockwell, Mad Brownie Co.
yeah.
Go there, everybody.
Go everybody there in Barrio Fiesta with their crispy pata and kare kare. So there you go. Claro will have that soon. I'm sure we'll be
I
having.
wish.
We'll be sending. They will be sending us some food. So again, thank you so much. Uh, Episode 117 is in the books. So we have episode 118 next week. Yeah, we're not missing a week. And
I hope.
of course, it'll be a surprise. I think the guest said yes, right?
Umo, yeah, yeah. I will sort that
Yeah.
out. Ako dapat next week, di ba? So ayun.
Okay, so that ends our episode. Thank you so much. And again, watch the games this Saturday, Sunday. Bye.
Follow us on social media. We got a lot to show you this weekend,
Oh,
especially.
yes. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Bye,
Oh, a lot of
everybody.
football. All right, bye-bye.